Hello, Mr. Prime Minister. This is me, Ayub Hamidi. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. I'm a sustainability expert, and I'm creating this talk or small video to help you how you can increase the share of wind power in the overall energy mix of Netherlands. According to the Statistics Netherlands (CBS), the installed wind power capacity in Netherlands actually increased 2x since 2007, when the installed capacity was only 2 gigawatts. In 2017, it was 4 gigawatts. So this is a very good job, and you should be applauded. You did a good work. Keep it up. But I certainly believe that Netherlands can do better, and it must do better in order to achieve the goals of Paris Climate Agreement. It is interesting to mention here that lion's share of installed wind power capacity in Netherlands, almost 3 gigawatts, is basically onshore. The number of installed wind turbines in onshore areas are 2,000. On the contrary, the number of installed wind turbines in the offshore areas are 139. So there is a dire need that offshore wind power capacity should be equally prioritized as well, as is the case with the onshore wind turbines. We all know that maintaining offshore wind turbines are expensive and difficult as well, but at the same time, they have the capacity to they have the ability that turbines with larger output capacity could be installed in offshore areas, as we all know, and thus a turbine with the larger output capacity can produce more electricity. So a large share of electricity in that case can come from wind power, wind turbines or wind power sector. So there's a dire need that you would close this gulf that exists right now between the onshore installed wind power capacity and the offshore installed wind power capacity. And simultaneously, you can choose to upgrade the already installed wind turbines by a megawatt each. For example, the total number of installed wind turbines in 2015 was 2,139. So by upgrading and each of the installed wind turbines by a megawatt, so you can already have 2.140 gigawatts of installed wind power capacity in Netherlands. The state of Bavaria in Germany has applied a rule called 10H rule. For example, if the height of a wind turbine is 1 meter, the closest distance that can be observed to install the wind turbines from the nearest building should be 10 meters in that case. So 1 meter the height of turbine, it would be multiplied by 10, so it would be 10 meters. That would be the distance that should be observed when it comes to the installation of wind turbines. So can be the case for Netherlands. Then your administration, if haven't already, can choose to give tax breaks and relaxations to companies that are planning to satisfy 100% of their electricity demand through clean sources of power production. You can, if haven't already, which I believe you did, but there is always a room for improvement and betterment. So we can create an even better environment where there would exist a very close of a relationship and strong communication between the research institutes that would promote research on the wind power sector, the sector that manufacture wind turbines, and the persons or the individuals or the sectors that basically then owns the turbines. There is a very dire need that a strong relationship would exist between all the research institutes, turbine manufacturers, and turbine owners in Netherlands. Again, if haven't already, your government can choose to increase the subsidies that is given to the sector of wind turbine on an annual basis. For example, for Denmark basically earns over 6.5 billions of euros through the export of clean energy technology, and particularly from wind turbine sector. But it also chooses to give subsidy to the wind power sector on annual basis in terms of billions of Danish kroners. So basically, the subsidy given in the first part then helps promote the research and development that further expands the exports, and that would increase your revenue, as you know better than me. So you can also choose to increase the subsidies given to the sector of wind power in Netherlands. You can encourage the wind farm owners to invest a certain percentage of their revenue in the social programs in the different municipalities in Netherlands, so that there would exist a win-win situation, and the social point of view of masses would be improved towards the wind farms, and wind turbines would be more acceptable towards people or masses. Wind farm owners can also choose to prioritize local masses as well when it comes to employment generation. France, for example, has seen wind farms as an excellent source to earn revenue. French government basically imposed taxes on the wind farms, and it became an excellent case for the government to not only expand the clean sources of power production, but to earn revenue simultaneously in the form of tax. So it can be the case for Netherlands. Italy did more or less the same thing. Italy basically used the sector of clean sources of power production in one of its financially challenged areas. It allowed the companies to establish farms over there, and as a result, not only clean sources of power production ability was improved, employment was generated for the masses, taxes were generated, and revenues was and as a result, Italy basically promoted economic growth in those areas with the help of clean sources of power production. So can be the case for Netherlands if it isn't already. According to the CBS, in 2015, only 6% of the total electricity that was consumed was produced from wind power. On the contrary, almost 75% of the electricity was produced from natural gas and coal. This again represents very big of a gulf between the reliance on clean sources of power production and the reliance on fossil fuels. I understand that sustainable transition from conventional sources of power production to clean sources of power production is a gradual step. It's a gradual process. It takes a lot of time and energy, dedicated attention. But I personally believe that you have the ability to do that, and you would do that, provided proper. And you would be able to do that provided proper resources and finances are channelized in this direction. In your administration, the installed capacity increased from 2 gigawatts to 4 gigawatts. I personally believe, let's say, like in coming 4 years or 3 years or in coming decade, again through the right policies initiated by your administration, the installed capacity can also increase from 4 gigawatts to, let's say, 20 gigawatts in coming 10 years because of the right policies that were initiated by your administration now. So by doing so, by implementing all of these steps, Netherlands might be able to increase the share of wind power in the total energy mix and would certainly be able to reduce the greenhouse gases emissions as the reliance on fossil fuels would be reduced, and of course Netherlands would be able to achieve the goals of Paris Climate Agreement even might before the decided deadline. Sky is always the limit when it comes to improvement. All the best and thank you for your attention. Take care. Ciao.